In Islam, modesty and respect for Allah's commandments guide every aspect of our lives, including how we adorn ourselves. While beauty and self-care are encouraged, not all decorations and adornments are permissible. Some can be considered haram, and it's essential for every Muslim woman to understand which ones are. The principles of modesty set clear boundaries for what is acceptable in terms of jewelry, clothing, and other forms of decoration. While Islam allows for beauty, it emphasizes balance, humility, and avoiding excess. In this discussion, we will explore the key decorations and adornments that are prohibited in Islam and the reasons behind these rulings, ensuring a deeper understanding of how to live in accordance with Allah's guidance. Understanding haram decorations in Islam. Islam is a religion that guides every aspect of life, including how we present ourselves. Decorations and adornments are natural desires, but Islam teaches us to balance beauty with modesty. Many Muslim women wear jewelry, makeup, and accessories without realizing that some might not be allowed in Islam. The concept of halal, permissible, and haram, forbidden, applies to the way we decorate ourselves, just as it does in other areas of life. Haram decorations are those that go against Islamic teachings, either by altering the natural creation of Allah, imitating non-Muslim cultures in forbidden ways, or encouraging arrogance and extravagance. This doesn't mean Islam forbids beauty. Rather, it places guidelines to protect dignity, faith, and modesty. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged cleanliness and self-care, but warned against excessiveness and deception in appearance. Understanding which adornments are halal and which are haram helps Muslim women make choices that align with their faith. Some restrictions may seem strict, but they are meant to preserve our spiritual well-being and prevent harm. In this discussion, we will explore different types of adornments, their rulings in Islam, and how women can embrace beauty while staying within the limits set by Allah. The concept of modesty in Islamic teachings. Modesty is one of the most important values in Islam. It is not just about how we dress, but also about how we behave, speak, and present ourselves. Allah commands both men and women to be modest, as seen in the Quran. Tell the believing men to lower their gaze and guard their chastity. And tell the believing women to lower their gaze, guard their chastity, and not expose their adornments except what necessarily appears thereof. Surah An-Nur 24:30-31. For women, modesty includes wearing clothing that covers the body appropriately, avoiding excessive beautification in public, and refraining from adornments that attract unnecessary attention. Islam allows women to beautify themselves, but within certain limits that protect dignity and faith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said modesty is part of faith. Sahih Muslim. This means that how a person presents themselves reflects their relationship with Allah. When a woman follows the principles of modesty, she is not only obeying Allah, but also protecting herself from unwanted attention and societal pressures. True beauty in Islam is not about attracting others, but about maintaining self-respect and staying within the boundaries set by Allah. Modesty brings peace, dignity, and honor to a Muslim woman's life. Haram versus halal adornments. What's the difference? In Islam, the difference between halal, permissible, and haram, forbidden adornments is based on clear guidelines from the Quran and Sunnah. Islam does not forbid beauty, but it does set limits to ensure that adornments do not lead to arrogance, deception, or immodesty. Halal adornments are those that do not contradict Islamic principles. Women are allowed to wear jewelry, perfumes, and beautiful clothing as long as they maintain modesty and do not use them to seek unnecessary attention from non-mahram men. Similarly, using natural beauty enhancements like kohl, eyeliner, and henna is encouraged as they were practiced by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions. On the other hand, haram adornments include those that change Allah's creation permanently, such as tattoos, extreme body modifications, or cosmetic procedures done purely for beautification without necessity. Wearing items that imitate non-Muslim religious symbols or clothing styles that contradict Islamic values is also prohibited. Additionally, excessive extravagance in adornment, which leads to arrogance or showing off, is discouraged in Islam. Understanding the difference between halal and haram adornments helps Muslim women beautify themselves in a way that aligns with their faith while maintaining dignity and humility. Tattooing and permanent body modifications. Tattooing is strictly forbidden in Islam as it permanently alters the natural creation of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, cursed those who get tattoos and those who give them, saying, Allah has cursed those who practice tattooing and those who get themselves tattooed. Bukhari and Muslim. This strong warning shows that tattooing is not just discouraged, but completely haram. The reason behind this prohibition is that tattoos involve unnecessary pain, alter the body permanently, and sometimes carry cultural or religious meanings that are not in line with Islamic values. Additionally, tattoos can be a form of self-expression that contradicts the concept of humility in Islam. Instead of altering their bodies permanently, Muslims are encouraged to embrace their natural appearance and appreciate the way Allah has created them. Similarly, other permanent body modifications, such as extreme piercings, skin implants, or cosmetic surgeries done solely for beauty, also fall under this ruling. However, if a procedure is needed for medical reasons, such as reconstructive surgery after an accident, it is permissible. Islam teaches that true beauty comes from faith and character, not from changing one's physical features permanently for fashion or trends. Gold and silk. Are there restrictions for women? In Islam, women are permitted to wear gold and silk, but they must do so within the boundaries of modesty and humility. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clearly stated that gold and silk are allowed for women but forbidden for men. He said, "Gold and silk have been permitted for the women of my ummah, but forbidden for the men." Tirmidhi. For women, wearing gold and silk is a blessing, but it should not lead to arrogance, excessive display, or extravagance. Islam encourages women to adorn themselves, especially for their husbands, but forbids wearing excessive gold and silk in a way that attracts unnecessary attention from non-mahram men. The purpose of adornment should be self-care and appreciation, not showing off wealth or superiority. However, there are some restrictions to consider. Wearing gold jewelry that imitates men's styles, such as heavy gold chains resembling men's accessories, is not allowed. Similarly, if a woman wears gold and silk with the intention of arrogance or pride, it becomes problematic. The key is moderation and intention. When used correctly, gold and silk are blessings, but when misused, they can lead to sinful behavior. Hair extensions and wigs. The Islamic perspective. Islam places great emphasis on honesty and natural beauty, which is why certain types of hair extensions and wigs are not allowed. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clearly forbade the use of hair extensions made from real human hair, saying, Allah has cursed the woman who adds hair extensions and the one who asks for it. Bukhari and Muslim. This ruling applies because using real human hair is considered deceptive and an alteration of Allah's creation. However, scholars differ in their views regarding synthetic hair. Some permit it if the intention is not to deceive or resemble non-Muslim cultural practices, while others advise against it to avoid confusion. If a woman is suffering from hair loss due to medical reasons, some scholars allow the use of wigs for necessity, as long as they do not involve deception. Islam encourages women to take care of their natural hair instead of relying on artificial enhancements. The use of oils, henna, and other natural treatments is recommended. Beauty in Islam is about sincerity and modesty, not artificial changes. A Muslim woman's dignity lies in embracing her natural appearance while following the limits set by Allah in all aspects of life. Excessive makeup and altering. Natural beauty Islam allows women to enhance their beauty, but within the limits of modesty and sincerity. Wearing makeup is not inherently haram, but excessive use, especially in public, goes against Islamic teachings. Allah commands believing women to maintain their modesty and not display their beauty to non-mahram men. And do not display yourselves as was the display of the former times of ignorance. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:33. Makeup becomes problematic when it is worn in a way that attracts attention, changes one's natural features drastically, or is used with the intention of seeking validation from others. Excessive makeup, such as heavy foundation, fake eyelashes, and dramatic eye makeup, can lead to deception and immodesty. However, wearing light, natural makeup within the home or in private gatherings among other women is permissible. Another concern is cosmetic procedures that permanently alter natural beauty, such as microblading, lip fillers, or extreme contouring. The Prophet, peace be upon him, forbade changing Allah's creation without necessity. Enhancing beauty should not come at the cost of modesty or self-respect. True beauty in Islam comes from faith, good character, and humility, not from excessive alterations or artificial enhancements. Wearing imitations of non-believers' symbols. Islam strongly discourages Muslims from imitating the religious or cultural symbols of non-believers, as it can lead to adopting their beliefs and practices. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever imitates a people is one of them." Abu Dawud. This hadith serves as a warning against blindly following trends that do not align with Islamic values. Wearing jewelry, clothing, or accessories that bear symbols associated with other religions, such as crosses, Hindu deities, or occult symbols, is strictly forbidden. These items are not just decorations. They often carry deep spiritual or ideological meanings. By wearing them, a Muslim may unintentionally show support or affiliation with beliefs that contradict Islam. Similarly, dressing in a way that closely resembles non-Muslim traditions, especially when it is associated with immodesty or immoral behavior, is discouraged. For example, wearing certain Western fashion trends that promote revealing clothing or adopting styles popularized by celebrities with un-Islamic lifestyles can lead to a loss of Islamic identity. Muslims are encouraged to embrace their unique identity by dressing modestly and choosing adornments that reflect their faith. Islam does not forbid fashion, but it sets boundaries to protect believers from cultural influences that may distance them from Allah's guidance. The impact of intention. Why it matters in adornment. In Islam, intention plays a crucial role in determining whether an action is permissible or not. This is especially true when it comes to adornment and decoration. Even something that is inherently halal can become haram if it is done with the wrong intention. The heart's motivation behind wearing certain adornments is what truly matters. For example, wearing jewelry, makeup, or fashionable clothing can be perfectly acceptable if the intention is to maintain modesty, uphold personal hygiene, or simply feel confident in one's appearance. However, if these adornments are worn to attract attention, boast about wealth, or compete with others in vanity, they cross into a realm that goes against the values of humility and modesty that Islam emphasizes. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said actions are judged by intentions, and each person will get what they intended. Sahih Bukhari. This highlights how the intention behind wearing a specific item or ornament can make the difference between what is permissible and what is forbidden. Before making any decision regarding adornment, we should always reflect and ask ourselves, am I wearing this to please Allah or to gain the admiration of others? This self-awareness helps guide us in making choices that align with Islamic teachings, striking a balance between beauty and faith. In Islam, there is no prohibition on beauty. In fact, Allah has created us with the ability to adorn ourselves, and He loves beauty. However, Islam teaches us that the way we express that beauty should align with the principles of modesty, humility, and sincerity. The key is striking a balance between enhancing our appearance and remaining true to our faith. Modesty should always be the guiding principle. Whether it's the clothes we wear, the jewelry we choose, or how we present ourselves, we should ensure that our adornments do not lead to arrogance, excessive pride, or distract us from our duties to Allah. While wearing gold and silk is permissible for women, it must be done in moderation. It should not be about flaunting wealth or drawing unnecessary attention to oneself. Tattoos, permanent body modifications, and excessive alterations to one's natural appearance fall under what is considered haram, because they go against the natural creation of Allah. Similarly, wearing excessive makeup or imitating non-Muslim religious symbols are practices to avoid, as they conflict with the values of modesty and humility in Islam. Ultimately, the most important aspect of adornment is the intention behind it. By seeking to please Allah in all that we do, we can ensure that our beauty is an expression of faith, not vanity,